Hi everybody, it's Jennifer Milner here for my first in a series of what I'm calling career nights, where you get to talk to somebody who has been a dancer in the past and has used that to go into a second career. For some of us it's dance medicine or dance science. For some of us it's point shoes fitting. For some of us it's running a dance company. So hi everybody that's joining and waving, glad you can join in. We're going to give people a couple of minutes to join in. I have a notepad and I have my pencil just in case questions start to fly by and I don't have a chance to answer them all as they come in. Hi everybody. Hey Daisy. You're going to be on this in a few years, Daisy, talking about your ways of getting into physical therapy. Hey Melanie. Hi everybody. So I thought about doing this because since I started doing the my live streams, the classes and seminars I've been doing, I've had dancers write to me and say, how did you get started doing what you're doing? And what did you have to do in order to be able to do what you do? I'm a dancer. I'm thinking I want to do something else at some point. I'd love to know how you got there. So I've had a few phone conversations with some people who have sent their questions into me and I've said, sure, let's talk. But I thought this would be a great way to do it because we're all kind of sitting around at home right now with the coronavirus and everybody trying to stay safe at home. And everybody's kind of on hiatus right now, dance-wise. And as hard as this is to admit, everybody's going to stop dancing at some point, right? Some of you are going to have huge, long careers, and then you're going to choose when you want to stop dancing, not because of an injury, but because you're ready to do something else. Some of you are going to have injuries that are going to force you to make that hard decision. Some of you are going to pursue it as a pre-professional and think, I loved what I did in high school, and I want to take it and do something else with it in college. I want to use all the stuff that I brought with me to being a good dancer and all the things I learned from that and move it into applying it to a different type of job. So what I'm hoping is that these career nights will give you some insight into it and you can say, I kind of want to do this, I kind of don't want to do that. I thought I wanted to do that, but now I think I want to do this. So that's where we are. If you want to type your questions at the bottom and send them to me, then I will be able to answer them for you and let you know. But right now I'm going to do that awkward part where I talk about myself, which is hard for a lot of people, I know. But hey Scarlett. But so I started out as a dancer. I started out as a ballet dancer, and I had a very small dance career in high school. And I was lucky enough to get to dance with a few big companies as an apprentice. And then I had a back injury. Hello, Elena. I had a back injury that took me out of dance or took me out of ballet for a while. And during the year that I was out of ballet, I made the choice to move into musical theater, thinking that it would be easier to pursue and that it would be something that I would still love doing and that I would still get to dance but not have so much wear and tear on my body. So I moved into musical theater and I did that for several years. And I moved to New York, and hello, hi Anna, hey Monica. I moved to New York and I was lucky enough to be able to work a lot. I worked all across the country dancing and doing shows in New York and traveling with shows. And from there, I was able to have a really nice career as a dancer. I love seeing people wave. This is so fun for me. So from that place, I was one of the ones that had an injury, and that injury took me out. I got injured in '98 and kind of kept dancing and kind of kept trying to push through it, doing small dance stuff, not huge dance roles, and was never really able to get past it and get back from that. And so while I was doing that, I kind of had the chance to think, what do I want to do next? Through my years of physical therapy, and I had started taking Pilates when I was dancing professionally. And while I was trying to rehab from my injury, I thought, well, maybe I'll get certified to teach Pilates, and that's something I can do eventually, because I had no intention of quitting at that point. And then I got certified teaching Pilates, and while I was still rehabbing and doing my finishing my Pilates certification, I was going for physical therapy at Westside Dance Physical Therapy in New York, which is the home of New York City Ballet's physical therapy and the home of Jennifer Milner, who is the mother of dance medicine. And while I was rehabbing there, I happened to ask her if I could practice my Pilates teaching on the physical therapists there. So we would come in during their off hours and I would give them workouts and I would get feedback from them, and I learned a lot working with them. While I was teaching, Marika was watching me, and afterwards she came to me and said, I would like to hire you. So I was incredibly lucky to get hired at Westside Dance Physical Therapy, and I worked there for several years as the physical therapist with the physical therapists as the official PT clinic for School of American Ballet and New York City Ballet. And while I was there, I got to work with dancers from Kirov, hey pivot dancer, from Kirov and Royal Ballet, New York City Ballet, American Ballet Theater, pretty much every major company in the world I got to work with dancers from there, and really learn a lot about dance medicine and about how to support dancers. While I was doing that, I also took specialty courses. I studied anatomy, which I had studied some in school, and I studied anything I could really get my hands on, hey doctors for dancers, that related to this topic. I was in. Westside Dance Physical Therapy offers a practicum, a continuing education that is 4 modules long, that is on dance medicine and how to treat dancers. And it's for physical therapists and doctors and Pilates trainers and yoga teachers and anybody who wants to work in dance medicine. So I did that, and I have taken any workshop from anybody that I find that I like, Marie Jose and Eric Franklin and Lisa Howell, just trying to dig deeper into it. I moved to Dallas 12 years ago. Yes, 12 years ago. I moved to Dallas and started my practice here in Dallas, and just started working with dancers here, and kind of have gone from there. Opened my own business and have trained dancers. I do ballet, I do coaching, and I think my favorite thing to do is prehab. So instead of rehabbing somebody who has already been injured, I like to get them before they get injured and say, hey, here's your weaknesses. Let's address that and let's deal with it. So I'll do a ballet private with them, and I'll see what things they do wrong in class and what little bad habits they have, and then we can take that and work on it in a conditioning class and apply all of that, and then they can take that back with them into a ballet class. So I like going back and forth between ballet classes and conditioning classes, but I work mostly one-on-one, and then I do workshops for studios and dance teachers and companies and pretty much whoever will hire me. So that's what I do, and I fell into it, I think, by taking one step at a time and seeing what I wanted to do and just doing that next thing. So when I got certified to teach Pilates, I had no clue that I wanted to specialize with dancers, although I knew dancers and had done it for a long time as a dancer. I just knew that that's what I knew. And so I got certified to teach Pilates, and then I went to work at Westside Dance, and so that kind of pulled me in the direction of working just with dancers. I fell in love with it and have gone on from there, just one decision at a time, basically. So there was no big grand plan. There was no big, I'm going to do this, and 8 years later it's going to turn into this thing. So I never did that. But I love the path that I'm on, and I love what I do, and I love making dancers better. And I think that's kind of my niche, that's what I excel at, is I can take something that exists and I can make it better. So I'm sure I could, but I don't think my strength is taking something that has some person who's never danced before and teaching them dance and giving them all that foundation and groundwork. I love handing them off to Olga Pavlova or whoever is out there, master teachers doing their training. Natalie! Hey, Nat. I love being able to do that. But I like taking those people who work with those master teachers and seeing what they do and saying, you do this thing with your pirouettes, or saying, what does your teacher talk to you about? Hey, everybody that's joining in, what does your teacher talk to you about in class? What kind of comments do you get? What kind of critiques do you get? And then we kind of take those apart, and then we make it better. We make it stronger, and we put them back into class. And then they're moving forward, and their teachers are like, yay! And I'm like, yay! And my students are like, yay! And that's what I love to do. So that's kind of it in a nutshell. Does anybody have questions? Sorry. About how I got there, or about options that you might have as you're moving forward. I know that a lot of colleges now are offering a Pilates certification. It's something that you can do while you're in school if you're doing a dance science degree or a dance medicine degree. A lot of places will offer Pilates classes and even Pilates certifications. And while Pilates is the foundation of what I do, it's definitely not the only thing that I do. I use Pilates. I use good strength and conditioning techniques from classes and workshops that I've taken in it. I use a lot of biomechanical foundations and a lot of dance medicine and dance science fundamentals that I apply to it. So while I love Pilates, it's not the only exercises that I'll use or the only thing that I'll do. It's a great tool for me to have. But I will say what's going on with that dancer and what do we need to challenge. Hey Jenny, what do we need to challenge and how can we challenge them and how can we make it better? So I do love Pilates, but I also think it's important to continue studying and to continue working and expanding your sort of what am I going to do, and expanding your toolbox, I guess, by digging in to whatever excites you. When you put, I was telling somebody this week, she's looking to go into dance medicine, and I said one of the cool things about dance science is that it's always progressing and always moving forward. And I have some friends who are like serious dance scientists with multiple degrees, and they are really good at what they do. And you put a bunch of those people in the room and I'll say, hey, what do you think about this? Or how do you do this? Or what would happen if this? And they all go, oh, that's so interesting. Let's find out. And so they love digging in and asking those questions. And I love coming to them when they've asked those questions and saying, what did you find? And how can I apply that to my training and to what I do with my dancers? So I do not have, hey Lauren, I do not have that dance science degree, but I love making use of that, and I love making use of my friends and the people that do have those degrees and who do have that information. So that's kind of me in a nutshell. Dance-wise, like I said, I did ballet. Hey Kristen, I did ballet, I did musical theater, and so I love having both of those to draw on and to be able to talk to dancers about. I will say the other thing that I think that I do is mentor the younger dancers. Friends do make everything better, don't they? Let me say this, just since Pivot Dancer said this. I think one of my biggest areas of value is that I know what I'm good at and I know what I'm not good at. So I have a Rolodex, which you younger people don't even know what that is, but I have my Google address book that has all of my smart friends in it, and I know that if something comes up I don't understand, I can go to someone and ask them. And if something comes up with my dancers that's outside my scope, I can say, hey, you've got this going on and I think you need to go see someone, and if you don't have someone to go see, I have a name for you, here it is, go talk to them. So I think that one of the biggest things of value that I bring is knowing my place kind of in that circle and knowing how to help people get the help that they need. Having said that, I feel like spokes in the wheel. Yes, ma'am. That's exactly right, Kristen. We are spokes in the wheel. And honestly, all of my friends like Kristen who are out there, we love being a spoke in the wheel. We love it. It brings me so much joy to be able to bring one of my dancers to Kristen, who's a nutritionist, and say, hey, I can't help you with this. I shouldn't help you with this. So be wary of personal trainers that do try to help you with your diet and nutrition. I shouldn't help you with this, but I know enough to know that you might benefit from talking to somebody. Let's get you in to talk to someone. If you don't know, my friend Kristen does, long distance stuff. So I think that, and then Kristen gets super excited about it because we love coming together. Yes, we do. Thanks, Monica. We love coming together and supporting dancers. It sounds crazy, but every year there's something called the International Association of Dance Medicine and Science. If you're thinking of going into dance medicine or science, check it out. Every year, IADMS, International Association of Dance Medicine and Science, comes together once a year for a world conference. We present a bunch of new papers, a bunch of new studies. We sit down and talk, and seriously, every single meal we go to, hi Holly, every single meal we go to, we are talking about dance medicine and science. We totally geek out. Yes, we do, Kristen. We totally geek out about it. We love talking about all aspects of it. And the thought of 500 dance medicine and science experts coming together in one place, different place in the world every time, to sit around and talk about how can we support dancers better. That is amazing to me. Pivot Dancer says, hey, guess what? Because of COVID-19, we can do tele-rehab now. So geography isn't so much of a challenge for us to cross-refer. That is absolutely right. But I will tell you this, Pivot Dancer, it's never been that much of a challenge to me. Physical therapy, yes, I like to keep it local just because we have had that luxury for so long. Now we don't. But if I don't have a specialist in Dallas for eating disorders for dancers, I am happy to refer them out because I would rather get you to the right person and get you to the person that knows dancers and knows who they're going to work with. Thankfully, though, one of the benefits of COVID-19 is that now we are all set up for telecommuting to work. All of us are online now. We all do stuff virtually, and I can send you to this person or that person regardless of where you are in the world. So all of that love to say, we love helping and supporting dancers. And I think there are those of you out there because some of my dancers, even in high school, have said to me, I like dancing in high school. I want to go on and do something else after high school. I'm going to study dance science, or I want to figure out how to use my degree. I want to figure out how to use my dance information to become a neuroscientist. I have one of my dancers, Kaylee, if you're watching. One of my dancers wants to become a neuroscientist, and she can use all of the skills that she has learned and things that she has dealt with as a dancer to go and get her neuroscience degree, which she's in the middle of doing. But you will find those things that kind of flip that switch and make you feel really excited and make you want to pursue it. So some of the people I've spoken with just over the past couple of weeks has said to me, hey, how do you do what you do? I want to teach Pilates, but I want to specialize in dancers. And then others have said, I want to do something in dance medicine, I don't know what, or I really love the research aspect of it. These are all separate lanes that you can swim in. They are all separate lanes, and there's room for everyone in those. So if you want to become a dance medicine Pilates person, like I call myself a dance medicine movement specialist, right? If you want to specialize in that, you get your basic Pilates certification, and then you start finding ways to work with dance companies. Offer your time for free, set up short consultations, short sessions, help them figure out how to structure classes within the studio. One of the things I do in Dallas is work with local studios to help them shape their conditioning programs. I travel for summer intensives and go to different summer intensives and teach dance, like injury prevention and strengthening and ways to put together a home program for yourself to stay healthy over summer intensives. And I love bringing information to studios on that level because I love reaching a bunch of people at once. As much as I like teaching one-on-ones and I love having those long-term relationships, going to a studio, I can talk to 30 or 60 people at once, and I can reach a lot more people. So I love going into studios and helping them think about, yes, Anna, some of my dancers call me their movement concierge. So I may not be the right person for it, but I can get you the right person for it. Yes, that is exactly right. So I can go into the studios and help them put together their program. And one of the things that I would do with a dance studio is help them shape the overall arc of their season. And see, when we start out in August, over here, we want to end up going to here. Let's say we're going to end up going to here for October, and then kind of even off for November, and then taper back down for December to get through Nutcracker. We stay down a little bit, and then we have to come back up and get ready for auditions, and then we work a little harder for spring, and then we taper back down, and then we're going to start back up again to get you ready for your summer intensives. So, hello, people who are just joining us. So, helping them see the big picture and not just, I have to get through this week. And then I have to get through the next show, and then I have to get through YAGP. But helping them see the big picture is going to help a studio be more effective in the way they program their classes, in the way they program their conditioning, in the way they schedule their rehearsals. And I have a few studios in Dallas that I'm really fortunate listen to me and invite my input and let me help them in that way. In the same way, I'm going to sit down with dancers, with all of my private clients at the beginning of each season, and we're going to map out the arc for them again. We're going to say, we're starting here. I notice when you've come back from your summer intensive that you have done this little weird thing with your foot. Now, every time you go on a releve, you just do this little weird thing. So let's talk about that. Let's fix it, and let's get to here. And then we're going to start pushing, getting you ready for Snow, which is 11 minutes nonstop on stage, which is about 9 minutes longer than your average Petit Allegro combination. So we're going to work up and we're going to get to here. And then I don't want to push you too hard because I don't want you to get injured. So right when rehearsals get worse, we taper back and we start working on other stuff. And then we're going to climb, and then we're going to stretch, and we're going to taper off. So it's a whole big pattern. But if I can get the dancers to sit down and look at that and see, I'm going to be going this way, I'm going to get through Nutcracker, then I'm going to plan how I'm going to get through summer intensive auditions, how I'm going to get through YAGP, all of that stuff. That's what I like to do with my dancers, and not just see them every week and say, what do you want to work on today? Okay, let's do that. Although I do say that every class. I say, is there anything specific you want to address today? Because sometimes they come in, especially my dancers who only come every other week, they'll come in with a preset list in their mind of, I really want to work on my turnout, or I noticed that my développés are not as high and I really want to work on that. And I'll say, great, as long as nothing else comes up in our time together, let's address that and let's work on it. So sometimes they come in with those ideas. If they don't, I have ideas of what I want to work on and make them better at and stronger at. So that's what I do. Does anybody have any questions? Do you want to throw anything out at me? I don't want to just sit here and kind of yell at you and talk at you the whole time. And I want to make sure I've covered everything that you want to know. Bye, Pivot Dancer. Thanks for coming in and giving me some support. I will give you guys a second in case you need to type, ask questions. If not, if you have no questions, because that's how amazing I am, and I already answered them ahead of time because I just planned it out so fantastically, then I guess we have nothing more to say, right? Okay, so I figured we'd have about half an hour, so we're about 25 minutes, so that's pretty good. Okay, if you have more questions, if anything comes up that you're thinking of that you want to ask me about later on, just send me a direct message on Instagram, or send me an email. It's just jennifer@jennifer-milner.com, or I'm sure you can find me on Facebook. So many different ways to get in touch with me. Anyway, if you guys have no more questions, then thank you so much for tuning in. Next week, I'm super excited. Next week, my friend Marissa Schaefer is going to be on. She is a physical therapist who used to be a dancer, and she is physical therapist with Alvin Ailey. Oh, perfect. Yeah, send me your question offline. She's a physical therapist with Alvin Ailey, and she is also, Daisy, you are going to so surpass it. I can't wait to see what happens with you. And also, have you be someone I can refer out to. So Marissa is a physical therapist for Alvin Ailey. She's also a physical therapist for several different Broadway shows. And so she's a great person to ask, how'd you get there? How'd you make the transition? How do I pick a good school? How do I figure out where I want to go and what choices that I have to make? So Marissa is going to be next Tuesday, I think. And then next Friday, my friend Joseph Gaddy is going to be on. He is a principal guest artist. He travels the world performing as a principal guest artist. Hey, Abby. And Joseph he worked for companies for several years, and then he became a freelance artist and started kind of taking control of his own career that way. And then he founded his own company and is trying to revolutionize the way companies work with dancers and the way they help them stay healthy. So Joseph Gaddy is the founder of United Ballet Theater in Florida, and he's going to come on Friday to talk to you guys about kind of making that transition, what it looks like to run a company other than just picking the stuff and picking parts that you look good in as you set together your seasonal lineup. Joey is also a fantastic mentor and a really encouraging person to dancers and works hard to lift them up. So I can't wait for you guys to hear from him. So next week, Tuesday, is Marissa. Next week, Friday, is Joseph Gaddy. I'll send you guys reminders. Send me questions if I didn't cover anything, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye. Oh, sorry, Doshia. I'm just now signing off. Bye.